festival going on in ISKCON Farmington Temple and throughout the world. But Krishna has departed 5,000 years ago. Then what is a festival? There should be Maros. If Krishna is not there, what is festival? So I was curious. I came to ask you. So please, bro.
See, I'm not fully qualified, but based on what I heard in all different lectures which goes on regularly, Bhagavatam class in the morning, every single day, and Sunday feast and all different festivals. You are Vrindavan Prabhu is also coming, like there are many speakers. So it says that though Krishna departed, but there was a question asked by sages in Naimisharanya that when Krishna departed, what happened to the religious principles? Hey, Krishna established those, right? So when Krishna departed, it says that religious principle took shelter in pages of Bhagavatam. Have you heard about the Bhagavatam?
No.
So that's the scripture for Kali Yuga. Ved Vyas contemplated as to he could see what's going to happen, what happened in the past, what's happening in present, and what's going to happen in the future. And he realized that in the future time, Kali Yuga, everyone would be miserable. And he knew the only way to uplift the in general population of Kali Yuga, to give them the pure devotion. So he composed Bhagavatam on the instruction of his spiritual master Sri Narad Muni. And that's the only time, after composing everything, he felt some satisfaction in his heart. So Bhagavatam is known as Amal Purana. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what the festival that we are saying, he came to establish the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam and the glories of Harinam Sankirtan. And he says that there is no yuga equal to Satyuga, and there is no Purana equal to Bhagavad Purana. It's known as Amal Purana. And this is, if someone takes shelter of Bhagavatam, regularly reading and serving the devotee, they can actually experience Supreme Lord Shri Krishna in each and every page of Srimad Bhagavatam. The same Krishna, in Kali Yuga, he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We celebrate Janmashtami, right? We called it for Janmashtami, remember?
Yeah,
we dance and get Abhishek.
No, there was nice dancing and eating. I like eating.
So we celebrate Janmashtami, we also celebrate Radhashtami. And you know what the secret about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He is combined of both Radha and Krishna both. So amazing.
You lost my mind. How is it possible?
Why not? When you are working, right, you have a different identity. When you are at home, you have a different identity. Right? Supreme Personality of Krishna can do anything he wants. So he came as devotee of Krishna, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he also wanted to experience the power, the mood and the love of Radharani. So he came as Gauranga. He is Krishna but mood of Radharani. That is why his whole body is golden complexion. So he is known as Gauranga. Gauranga. And very important thing, 2 days from now, we are going to celebrate his appearance day. You know, he's called Gauranga, that's why we call it as Gaur Purnima. It is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthday, appearance day.
So that means there is a lot of food.
Oh yeah.
And there is a lot of dancing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, then there is a lot of kirtan.
Kirtan, yes.
Wow.
So you know, special thing, we'll begin our festivities morning 5 o'clock. When we do Mangala Aarti, then we'll have a Guru Puja, Tulsi Aarti, all the festivals, all the festivities. We will have Abhishek for each and everyone to shower special blessings on everyone, whether who's taking Abhishek, doing Abhishek, witnessing Abhishek, or taking Charamat later on.
Why do you start programs so late in night? Start in the morning like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, why 5 a.m.? I will be sleeping, I don't even know what is, I never saw sunlight. So I cannot wake up before sunrise.
Yes, Maya keeps us always in the dark. Never wants anyone to wake up early morning, Brahma Muhurta. So, but ISKCON Farmington Hills give all the facilities, opportunities for devotees to come in the morning, start their day in Brahma Muhurta, which is the most auspicious and beneficial time for doing the best possible thing that you can do, and which is taking darshan and worshipping Supreme God, especially on Gaur Purnima Day. So mark your calendar. What is the date I mentioned?
3rd March, you said?
3rd March, 2 days from now.
It will be a big workout for me to wake up at 5 a.m. So please, you have to do something for me so that I can wake up. You can call me.
Yes,
in the morning.
we'll call, and the Krishna is already calling. Everyone has a cell phone. Please put the alarm now. Mark your calendar for whole day festivity. Starting 5 a.m. 3rd March, celebrating Gaur Purnima. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Upcoming festival Gaur Purnima ki jai. ISKCON Farmington Hills ki jai.
One last question.
Still?
Yes. You mentioned something about a book called Srimad Bhagavatam. I want to know where can I get it so that I can read it.
Sorry, I should have mentioned. ISKCON Farmington Hills has Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you ask devotee nicely, they give you a discount as well. It's available in English, Hindi, Telugu, and many other languages. So please take benefit of all.
Anything which is discount, I like it. Thank you so much for explaining me that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna's combined form. So if I can say, I think everybody can say. So thank you. And what do you say in your prediction? How do you end the conversation?
You say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, devotees.
Hare.
From His Grace Advaita Pran Prabhu to take his rightful place on Vyasasana today. And okay, kids, Sunday school time. Perfection, right? Including Kartal. People who say amazing Kartal. One time I asked one person, can you teach me Kartal? You play amazing. You're the best Kartal player. He looked at other crowd and said, he's my teacher. So that's his glory. Yeah. So Prabhuji can play all the instruments. Prabhuji leads different event programs. Tuesday, Thursday, and earlier we used to do Saturday as well. Prabhuji is amazing drama actor, and hopefully we'll see him in action. And many times he plays the role of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm sure many of you witnessed. Right? Prabhuji takes Bhakti Riksha classes regularly. He's a group of people who is teaching personally. He's well versed in Shastra. He memorizes and speaks shloka just like flow. Right? So Prabhuji, we are very honored for your presence, and you agreed to give class today. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Let's welcome His Grace Advaita Pran Prabhu. We have a traditional way. By clean and always chanting.
Prabhuji is very gracious with his kind words. Grateful. Hare Krishna. Can I apologize? I have a little bit of a rusty voice. I'm just recovering my voice. So I'll try to serve to the best of my abilities. for the pleasure of the devotees, by the instruction of Shamkishore Prabhu, and for my own purification. We'll start with Jai Radha. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतां परमानन्दं श्री चैतन्यमीश्वरं Hare Krishna. Again, very grateful for this opportunity to share Krishna Katha, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Katha with all of you. And thank you so much for coming on this cold day to the temple to attend the Sunday feast. It's a little difficult, it's almost 1:30. I think the announcements and the skits are encroaching into your prasadam time, which I will try not to take as much. So in the next 35-40 minutes, we will cover one topic that has been given to me around glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The topic is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us how to walk our way back home, back to Godhead. So, as we know, Gaura Purnima festival is coming up and we'll all be celebrating Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, his pastimes and wonderful leelas. And this is just to set a framework around how relevant Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance and presence is in each of our lives. To understand from the framework of where we are coming from and where we want to go, what is our final destination that we are desirous of as devotees, and how Mahaprabhu's role is so important for each of us practically. So, with that, yes. So, all the scriptures, as we know, right, discusses three things. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. Most of us devotees know. Sambandha means the relationship that we have. I have with my body, with the people around me, with this material world, with the Supreme Lord. What is my relationship with each of us around us? Right? And what is my current position today where I am here? And Prayojana is, what is my ultimate goal? What are we trying to achieve here in life, in spirituality, in this path of Krishna consciousness? Right? But in any path, what is the final end goal? What is Godhead? What is my relevance there? What is my real constitutional position there? Right? What is the end goal? Right? That is the Prayojana. And Abhideya is, today I am here, tomorrow I want to get there. So what is the process? How do I get there? What is the means and what do I follow? Right? In Sanskrit, these are the three words: Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. So today we will see, and since all the scriptures talk about all three things, we will focus a little bit on Bhagavad Gita talking about Sambandha, or where I am, Bhagavatam describing what is that spiritual world like, who is Krishna, what does he do, what are his activities there, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Chaitanya Charitamrita being that gateway to taking us from where we are today by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and what do we follow to get to the final means. And we had discussed this in our Bhakti Vriksha once. We will go over the acronym of WALK, right? Where are we today in terms of this acronym WALK, where we want to get to go, and how do we get there. So that is what we'll cover in the next 35 minutes. So when we talk about WALK, our current situation in this material world, right, is defined by what has brought me here, W-A-L-K. I have willingly acted against the Lord's desire at some point. And then I have been lured by Maya, material energy of the Lord. And in this way, I have forgotten Krishna. So this is the sum and substance of my current situation, that we can quote so many verses from Bhagavad Gita that Krishna talks about. Krishna bahirmukhana bhogavancha kare. I have turned my face away from Krishna. Nikatastha mayatara japadiya thare. Maya has caught hold of me. And now it is making me walk within this material universe. Actually, it is not walk. It is actually wandering, being disillusioned. Brahmande bhramite. We're disillusioned, which means we don't know where we are, what we are doing, where we are going. Right? Brahmande bhramite kon bhagyavan jeev. Guru Krishna prasadipay bhakti lata bij. These living entities, all of us, me, we are traversing from one place to another. Has anybody planned, right, who our parents are, or what body we have gotten, what citizenship we have had from birth, right, what we have inherited? All these things, can we or have we planned where we will go in the next 50, 60 years? It has all been given to us. It has all been thrust on us, right? That is our current situation. And in this temporary situation, we are considering those people, those activities, those things, those objects in relationship to this body to be mine. And I have forgotten the one who really has a relationship with me, Sri Krishna, in my heart. And I've forgotten him. So this is my current situation, and I've been wandering, thinking that I am actually the controller of everything. I feel like I think everything is good. I am in control for the most part. But Krishna says, Prakrite kriyamanani gunakarmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma kartaram iti manyate. In illusion, I am thinking that I am in control. Right? So that is my situation today. In this way, we see how there are some personalities who have become a deer. Bharat Maharaj becomes a deer, Nalakuvara Manik Giva becomes a tree, King Nriga becomes a lizard. We have been hovering around in so many different bodies. And we know the basics of Bhagavad Gita for current situation. And Krishna is actually looking at us. Right? And he's speaking the Bhagavad Gita and he's saying, Mama eva amsha, you are my own part and parcel, O Jivatma, O spirit soul. Wake up. Manashashtani indriyani. This 6 senses, including the mind, you have been entrapped in. And whatever the mind is telling me, I am following blindly, thinking, yes, I have tasted this before, this memory I have, and now I will follow my mind. And unfortunately, the mind has taken me to so many different species in this 8.4 million species. There was one Brahmana in South India, and he was performing his bhakti. Some Americans came. This was about 100 years ago, and he saw them and he thought, what will, I wonder, be the situation like and the life like in America? And next life, he was born in America. True story. From his Bhrigu charts, it was revealed. And of course, he was very pious devotee. He met the devotees. He is one of our devotees, a sannyasi in that moment. But the way that karma works is amazing. Mana, samsara chakram amananti, it is described that the mind has entrapped us. And the mind is very powerful. Pramadi, bhalavad, dridam, obstinate, chanchalam. Right, this mind, and it has been taking us in so many different bodies, in different situations. And so, sometimes what happens, the living entity has been a devata, sometimes an ant, and this is our situation. And sometimes we might think, the situation is actually not so bad. I am actually a very pious Indian, very religious. I go to the temples, I perform some sacrifices, but just to burst the bubble, right? Bhagavad Gita talks something, embrace yourselves, right? This is the reality. I am just the message carrier. Bhagavad Gita says that many a times when we even partake in so-called religious activities, if the essence of that is not pure bhakti, yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadant avapaschitaha, the person is still avapaschitaha. Not very intelligent if he takes only the flowery words of the Vedas. And bhogaishwaryam gatim prati, if that person thinks, I only want to increase my material situation. Or kamatmana swargapara, I will go to the heavenly planets and I will enjoy heavenly pleasures. All of this keeps us within the Brahmita or walking in this material world. And the reason I'm giving this foundation is to see what is Mahaprabhu's contribution. Indra defeated Vritrasur. Vritrasur was a pure devotee of the Lord. Right? Chitraketu Maharaj, the Bhagavatam describes, gets cursed by Parvati Devi to become Vritrasur. Indra has defeated Vritrasur. And he is praying as a pure devotee. Nanaka prastam nacha parameshtyam na sarvabhaumam narasadhipatyam na yoga siddhim apunar bhavam samanjasatva virahaya kangshe. Oh my Lord, I don't have any akanksha, any desire to go and even rule the heavenly planets or get any of the desires. If it means I am losing bhakti at your lotus feet, like Mahaprabhu says, na dhanam, na sundarim, kavitama jagadisha kamaye, janmani janmanishwari bhavatar bhakta. I just want your devotional service. This is Vritrasur's prayer. But Indra takes the position of that personality who kills Vritrasur and he becomes very proud and he orders his house expansion project. He calls Vishwakarma. Brahma Vaivarta Puran describes this, and Vishwakarma is asked to build better pleasure houses and increase his opulence in the heavenly planets, and he's building room after room and palace after palace. He gets tired. He's thinking, when will this stop? Indra is like, I'm celebrating. This is my post-victory celebration. And finally Vishwakarma goes to the Supreme Lord and he says, my Lord, you need to teach Indra some lesson. And the Supreme Lord takes the form of a little Brahmana boy. He comes and he asks Indra, oh, has all of this construction been ordered by the previous Indra? This Indra says, what? I am the Indra here, don't you know? And this boy shows a colony of ants that were walking. And he said, each one of these ants have been Indra like you before. And this Indra is bewildered. And anyway, Indra comes to his senses. The Lord reveals his position. Every time the Lord has to do this. Once Prabhupada, he saw a blade of grass and he mentioned that this blade of grass has been Indra. Prabhupada gets revelation from the Supreme Lord as needed, when needed. But it is reality. We have all been there. We have all done that. And we are all still loitering in this material universe without knowing, talking to myself, what my future destination is. But second example, Bhagavatam says, but Prabhuji, what is the point? I am actually a nice person. I do all my duties very nicely. I'm a nice husband. I'm a nice father, nice son. I'm a nice employee. Proper 8 hours of work, nicely. I do everything very nicely. But Bhagavatam says, Dharmas manushrita pumsan vishwakshena kathatsuya na utpadayat yatiratim. If in being svanushtata means in your occupational duties, you are doing everything very nicely, which is good, you should do it. But while doing that, if you do not achieve yadi rati or desire and attachment and attraction to Krishna, Krishna's holy names and his katha, then shrama eva hi kevalam, it is so useless labor. And these statements are very heavy. But Bhagavatam is meant to actually give us what nothing has ever given before. Yenatma suprasidati, by which we can eternally be satisfied. Jiveras tattva jignasaha, and it says this is for that person who is on the highest pedestal of this ladder of realization and knowledge. For a person who wants to realize the supreme absolute truth, go and eternally rejoin those pastimes of Krishna in the spiritual world. So, that is our current situation. So now being in this situation, WALK, have willingly acted in a way to forget Krishna and have been lured by Maya and have forgotten Krishna. So now, what does Bhagavatam show? Bhagavatam paints a very beautiful picture of what the spiritual world is. Right? It says that this is the spiritual world. Krita Punya Punja, Krishna's associates, who have performed so many wonderful pious activities of bhakti, they are now singing and dancing. Aho Bhagyam, what amazing bhagya they have, where they are with Krishna performing pastimes. And they are walking with the Lord. Their heart is filled with love for Krishna. And the gopis are watching Krishna, who is in Vrindavan, as he is walking into the forest with affection and pure love for him. This is the actual prayojanam for devotee. The Venugit describes Ittam sharat svacha jalam padma gandha sugandhina Nyamishat vayuna vatam saga gopala kochuta kusumika vanaraji shushmi bringa dvijakula gushta sarasari mahidram. How every living entity in the spiritual world is imbued with so much of love for Krishna. As Krishna plays the flute, as he glances on each one of the living entities in the spiritual world, their hearts are completely imbued with pure love. As the calves are drinking the milk from the mother cow, they become stunned. They are embracing Krishna within the core of their hearts. The cows are lifting up their ears, taking in this sound of Krishna's flute. The birds who are like munis are going up on the tree completely silent, seeing Krishna's beautiful form. And they are experiencing this divine love. Dhanya, Smamuda Gataye, Harinyo, these deer we can see, they are completely absorbed in embracing Krishna within their hearts. So this is the spiritual world. So, as Krishna is displaying his wonderful opulence in the spiritual world, every living entity in the spiritual world is completely enthralled by pure love for Krishna. This is our eternal spiritual position, being in the spiritual world in one of the 5 rasas. So now, as Krishna is walking in the forest of Vrindavan, it is described that Chalasi Advrajat Charayan Pashu Nalina Sundaram Natate Padam. So Krishna is walking into the forest and Shila Trinankunair, all the stones and the thorns, the gopis are lifting and clearing up Krishna's path just to give Krishna so much of pleasure. And as Krishna is seeing their pure unalloyed service, Krishna is knowing that Aham tu bhakta paradino, I am a servant of my devotees. And these pure devotees are performing so many wonderful services to me. I can never repay the gopis for what they're doing. So, just as they are removing all of these obstacles on my walking path into the forest, let me remove the stones and the thorns and obstacles and problems on the path of those devotees who are walking their path on their way back home, back to Godhead. And then he appears as Sri Krishna speaking the Bhagavad Gita in Kurukshetra. And Krishna actually speaks the Kurukshetra to give the living entities a path by which we can actually purify our hearts, our lives, and follow the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita to go back home, back to Godhead, to the prayojana that we are desiring to achieve. So that is Sri Krishna. So now, when Krishna speaks the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also thinks that I have spoken, Krishna Mante Jagat Guru. I am the Guru or the spiritual master of this universe. But na kailo dharma sikhai na jai. Whatever I have spoken, eta siddhanta Gita Bhagavad Gai. Bhagavatam says that one should be following what one speaks. Apana na koilo dharma. If we have not followed, we cannot speak. So Krishna says, I want to show the devotees how they can actually follow the Bhagavad Gita in a practical way to achieve prayojana. And with that desire, Lord Krishna appears as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He comes in a Chana Avatara, in a very covered incarnation. And he does not come as the Supreme Lord, he appears as the devotee of the Lord. And he tells some of the devotees, don't reveal to the world that I am the Supreme Lord. If you do, I will prematurely remove you from this world. And so devotees would be like, okay, Krishna, those devotees to whom it gets revealed, they would also not reveal this. There was one Brahmana who was taking a dip in the Ganga, pure-hearted Vipra, and he was performing his Gayatri. And he sees that the water of the Ganga is going up from his navel to his chest to his neck, and then it's again coming down to his knees, and he's bewildered. And his Gayatri gets interrupted. And he's wondering what is happening. And he looks and he sees a beautiful denizen, a Mataji, wearing a beautiful sari of resplendent moonshine. She appears from the Ganga by sitting in a golden chariot which has been driven by dolphins, and she comes out, and there was a beautiful little golden boy who was frolicking and playing on the banks of the Ganga, and she comes and she pays obeisances to this young beautiful boy, and she sees the Lord and says, oh my Lord, you are so merciful, you have given so much mercy to my sister Yamuna when you appeared in your original form as Sri Krishna, and now you are appearing very soon in this golden avatar as Gauranga. Please come and frolic and sport and perform pastimes in my waters, and let me with my waves get a chance to embrace you, my Lord. And the Lord puts his lotus feet on her head and says, yes, so be it. And as she disappears back into the waters, this Brahmana starts screaming, I have seen, I have seen, I have seen. I know what is going to happen. And there the Lord says, shh. Don't speak about this to anyone. Otherwise, I will remove you from this world prematurely. So the Lord comes in the mood of his devotee to show what has to be done in order to walk a talk to go back home, back to Godhead. Even when Lord Brahma, after Brahma Vimohan Leela, when he performs austerities in Antardvip, the Lord appears in a beautiful golden complexion, Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with his beautiful eyes, which are like lotus petals, which are stretching to the ears, his beautiful nose like a sesame flower, beautiful framed teeth like that of pearls, his lips like a bimba fruit, his neck was so beautiful like that of a lion, his shoulders like an elephant, his thin waist, his long arms stretching below his knees, always crying in that love of Srimati Radharani that he has. Beautiful locks of blackish hair which is falling on his shoulders, torrents of rain like tears which are pouring and wetting the devotees around him in that mood of Srimati Radharani. He appears to Lord Brahma and he reveals that this is going to be my golden avatara, that I am going to appear very soon. And when Brahma makes a plea that being the creator of this world, I have become very haughty, very proud, give me a very humble position. He reveals, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals his heart and says, yes, you will appear in a Yavana family as Namacharya Haridas Thakur. But the holy names of the Lord, although you will be born in a Mohammedan family, you will be chanting 300,000 names. And this is going to be a secret. And the internal secret I have revealed to you. And so that Dvipa, that island is called Antardvip, the internal heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he has revealed to Brahma. So in this mood, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears to teach the essence of Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna came to give. And that essence of Bhagavad Gita is the way we want to walk from the walk of disillusionment that we are in to the walk of glory of the spiritual world is by following these two. Because Prayojana is the end goal, but Abhideya is the process to get to the end goal. But Bhagavatam opens up with saying, wait a minute, I watch so many religious, spiritual videos on YouTube. I might meet so many spiritual personalities around. I might read so many spiritual books. I may go to so many temples. So many different instructions are given. What do I really follow? Bhurini bhuri karmani, shrotavyagini vibhagashaha. There's so many different instructions given. Atha sadhrutva yat saram samudratya minishaya. Just give me the essence of, in Kali Yuga, working 8 to 5, having a family with the current world situation that we are in, with my job problems and visa problems and family problems and children problems and so many problems that I am in. In this situation, how do I follow Abhideya, the process of this essence to get to the final goal? And for that, although in the Bhagavad Gita, different instructions are given for Karma Yogis, Jnana Yogis, Dhyana Yogis, Ashtanga Yogis, Bhakti Yogis, for us in this situation, Mahaprabhu gives the simplest formula, which is the essence of the Gita, right? Which is two things. W, wake up early and associate with Krishna with a desire to develop love for Krishna. Very important. Krishna says, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam. Nisha is darkness. What is darkness for a person who is a materialist? Is for a self-realized sage, morning time, which is early morning hours, Brahma Muhurtas, just like, and we didn't plan this skit. So, it is early morning time for a devotee. So, waking up early in the morning is so important. Like one devotee in Wayne State University, Yugal Kishabu, was saying that he asked, what time do you wake up? He said, 3 o'clock. He said, wow, many brahmacharis also don't wake up at 3. He said, no, PM. Because my first class is at 4 PM, so I wake up at 3 PM. So, our education sometimes would have, it feels like when I come to the temple, like when devotees first they say, coming to the temple for Mangalarti, I am more jet lagged than when I come back from India. So that is the situation of modern life, right? And modern cell phones and gadgets don't help with this. We are so engrossed in so many things that we don't know what is it to be disciplined. So the first thing is to wake up early in the morning. Actually, if you see Gajendra Moksha, right, the pastimes, and this yesterday I was randomly reading some verses, and I came across this verse. I'm like, wow, yes, this is so relevant here. Krishna Katha is like Anupan and Aushadhi. Like you drink water, a cup of water, and then you take one pill. So the entire pastime is King Indradimna, he goes, performs his austerities, Mauna Vratam, and Agastya Muni comes, he gets cursed, he becomes an elephant gets caught by the crocodile, 1,000-year battle, and finally after the entire story, Krishna comes in Garuda, kills the crocodile, delivers him and goes back. So Krishna's appearance, like Narasimhadev, is like the little tablet. And the entire pastime is like Anupan, what you take to digest the tablet. So this entire Gajendra Moksha is complete when the Lord has appeared on Garuda and delivered Gajendra. And finally the last two verses of the 4th chapter of the 8th canto of Bhagavatam, Krishna gives two instructions to the devotees. Number one, he says, wake up early in the morning and recite these verses of the prayers of Gajendra. And if you do that, you will come back home, back to God, and I will promise. So get up early in the morning and recite. Then the previous verse says, get up early in the morning and meditate on this entire detailed pastime. And you will get tremendous benefit. So Krishna says only these two things. And Vishnu, of course, he disappears. He departs back to Vaikuntha planets. So, very important. Ta ekadato munaya prahur puta hutagnaya. Early morning time is when we have to perform this. So that is the one basic essence of Bhagavad Gita. And then the second one is the rest of the day when we are working, when we are performing our day-to-day activities, work as an act of serving Krishna. Whichever situation that we are in, right? So in this situation that we are currently in, how can you work in a mood that we can offer this as an offering to Krishna? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhyacha. Perform your yuddha. Perform your activity of whatever you have activities in. Athapumbad vijisteshta varnashama vibhagashaha. In this different divisions of whatever work that you are engaged in. Swanusutasya dharmasya samsiddhar haritoshanam. How can you please Krishna by your activities? And for this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who would actually perform his pastimes inside the closed doors of the house of Srivas Thakur, would finally come out, and he, with his own lotus hands, he would anoint the bodies of the devotees with chandan. He would take out the garland from his own neck and he would put it on the devotees. He would embrace the devotees with his own lotus hands, and he would beg and plead the devotees, please chant the names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He would make an earnest plea. And we know how Mahaprabhu would request Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, the devotees, to go door to door to plead the devotees just to chant the holy name of the Lord once. And he would promise that whoever takes this up, I become their servant. The Supreme Lord of this entire material and spiritual creations, with blade of grass between his teeth, signifying that I will not speak anything. You can treat me like a servant if you take up to this chanting. I am like a very lowly animal, like an animal that eats grass. In that mood I have come to you. Parama Karuna Pahudvijana Nitai Gaura Chandra. The most magnanimous incarnations of the Lord. Sabhavatara Sarashiromani Kevalananda Kanda. Completely imbued with bliss and happiness and wanting to give that to every person without seeing who is qualified and who is not qualified. In that mood. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to Gaya, it is described to perform the Shraddha ceremony of his father, he met Ishwara Puri, took initiation. When he came back, he revealed the innermost position of Srimati Radharani's love to Krishna. And he was imbued with so much of love for Krishna that initially in his pastimes he covered these ecstasies within his heart. he was a scholar, defeating people in Nyayas and Arthashastras and Nyaya Shastras and logic and grammar and reasoning. But now, when he met his spiritual master, he is teaching us all that however qualified a person is, one has to take instruction from a spiritual master. And stop listening to the mind. Oh mind, you have entrapped me for so many lifetimes and I have been wandering in this material world. Now let me follow the instructions of my spiritual teacher. Right? And Mahaprabhu displays this with his own example. And when he comes back, he is embracing the devotees and he is saying, oh Gadadhar, you have been a devotee since your childhood, but I have futilely wasted my life in mundane pursuits. And finally now, I have had the chance to chant these holy names of Krishna. And I have had a chance to see Krishna face to face in Kanainatha Shala. But the Lord has disappeared. I can't find him anymore. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? He would embrace Gadadhar Pandit and he would start scratching his own chest saying that Krishna is present in my heart. I want to see Krishna. And the devotees would stop him and they would see that he has become the most cherished of all the devotees. Tears would flow from his eyes. His limbs would tremble. He would fall to the earth unconscious in this divine ecstasies. That supreme form of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And in this mood, he would want to inundate the entire world with Krishna consciousness. And it is described that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would tell the devotees, I have something very important to tell you. Please listen to me. And he would say that why are we wasting our nights in just sleeping? Let us utilize even the nights in Kirtan and in the house of Srivas. Both the days and the nights, they would have these ecstatic Kirtans. Kirtans that the world had never experienced before. Using this Shastra of Sankirtan, Mahaprabhu actually revealed Golok Vrindavan to the people of this world. For those of us who have no taste for Krishna, actually Krishna Katha is meant to revive that lost taste. Yet Srinvata, when we hear this, two things are supposed to happen. It is Vitrishna and Arati. Apait, Arati, Vitrishna. What is happening? Arati means I don't have taste for Krishna consciousness. I am chanting the holy names and I'm sleepy. When will my rounds get over? When is the class done? Prasadam is waiting. Govinda has some nice menu today. I have no taste for Krishna. But with Krishna, Vishesha Rupena Krishna, but I have nice taste for watching videos on my phone. Half an hour goes by, I don't even know how many shots I have watched. I can watch a 6-hour cricket match, a 3-hour movie, and I am completely focused, like a Muni. But the holy names, I don't have much taste. I'm talking to myself. So this is my situation. And Krishna Katha is meant to reverse this. And it is amazing. Now in this world, the cell phones are such a distraction. Even my 2-year-old child knows how to use a cell phone. And even my 80-year-old great-grandmother, even she knows how to use it. And we have so much taste for it. And unfortunately, Jai Shri Radha Gopinath Vallabha ki Jai, Nitya Advaita Pavan Gaur Hari ki Jai. Our willpower is so weak that one video can come in the way between me and Krishna. Amarendra Prabhu told me this personally. He said that for one clip that you watch, he said a devotee in Vrindavan, one of the Brajvasis told him this. He said that it takes 2 years of bhajan, proper intense sadhan, to undo from the very root of our subconscious mind completely the trace of one clip that we have watched. Hare Krishna. And this is reality. We are so concerned lately, right, of what we put into our bodies. But we don't care what we put into our minds. And the problem that's happening is that we are so used to shots after shots, sometimes in the guise of something good, which traverses into something that is so useless in the grand scheme. that even in our chanting, even in our hearing, we don't have proper focus in our mind. The mind wants next. Okay, I want a next joke to be heard in the class. I want to hear something chatpata, very nice that I've never heard before. I want to hear something in a language that I feel pleasing to my heart. I don't want to hear pure katha that is coming, because even the speakers, right, we have to think, okay, what joke can I put in between to keep it true? It's because of the Kali Yuga mind that has been so degraded by these weapons of mass distractions. What is happening outside in the world that we know of is only a small glimpse of what is happening within our hearts. And Mahaprabhu has come to give that which has never been given ever before. So the more we can actually engage our consciousness, our mind, our hearts, and the mind doesn't want. Actually, the mind is so used to keeping us under its control that now we are saying enough is enough. Hare Krishna. That's when Maya Devi actually opens her eyes. I know exactly what you like. And she will customize those flavors of what we have been addicted to, that we are attached to, that we have fallen down with, that we cannot say no to, and give us those circumstances and those situations in which we gradually slide down, because that is her unfortunate service to the Lord. Although Parvati Devi asks Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hai Andakar, Jahan Surya Tatra Mayar Nahi Adhikar. Oh my Lord, my position is that I have to put Daiveshi Gunamai Maya Mama Duratyaya. I have put the situation for the living entities in a way that they are taken away from you. And wherever I am present, Jahan Maya, wherever there's Maya Devi, then there is no Krishna. Oh my Lord, but you have appeared here as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please give me an opportunity to perform a personal service to you. And she takes the dust of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in her as a sindur. And that Dvipa becomes Simanta Dvipa, right? One of the 9 islands of Navadvip. So, in this situation that we are in, although we have no taste, I was just hearing recently, Amrendra Prabhu was speaking. He was saying that in the initial process of chanting the holy names, it's like I'm having a gulab jamun in my hand and I've not tasted it yet. But I'm like, this is going to be very tasty, very nice. And we're like making sounds in our mouth. I have not tasted it, but I know what is coming, what I'm going to put in my mouth. That is the situation of us. We have not tasted Krishna. We have not been in Krishna's Leela, but I know that if I follow this, I will actually enjoy and taste it. But at the same time, a pure devotee of the Lord, our spiritual masters, Prabhupada, these devotees, what they are doing is that they are eating the gulab jamun. They are tasting the rasa. It is dripping down their cheeks. And as they're chewing and tasting and savoring this taste, they are also making the same noise. It's so nice. So when they're chanting the holy names, and we are chanting the holy names, there is a little bit of a difference. But the result is the same, is that we will get a chance if we are sincere, if we are serious, and if we follow in the footsteps of the devotees who have come to offer this to us. And in that mood, when we partake in these festivities, when we listen to Katha in a mood to purify our inner consciousness, and if we pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that my Lord, I am suffering, I am struggling, my current situation is that I am wandering in this material world. Samsara Sindhu Ati Dustara. Tara means swim. I am trying to swim across. Dustara means very difficult. Ati Dustara means impossible. Samsara Sindhu, swimming across this ocean of samsara, Ati Dustara Uttateshur, for those people who are trying to swim across. Na anya plava, there is no other plava or boat. Bhagavat Purushottamasya Leela Katha, but hearing the Leela Katha of Krishna. And in this mood, Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is praying, Samsara Dukkha Patitasya. I have fallen to this misery of material existence. Kama Krodha Nakara makara adi kavali kritasya, and I have been devoured by, my flesh is being eaten by the whales and the sharks and the fish of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. And in this situation I am in, I have no other hope. Chaitanya Chandra, Mama Dehi Padavarambam. Oh Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, your glance, your kataksha, your service, your following your footsteps is the only way by which I can be saved and I can get onto this boat which will take us across this ocean, back home, back to Godhead. So in that prayer, if we can have our consciousness and pray to the Supreme Lord, then we can see that very quickly, just like the Lord delivered so many sinful personalities. And Bhagavatam is filled with this, from a person who is here and a person who wants to get to the other side. Right? So we are here, we want to get there. Of so many personalities. If you think you have material desires, talk about Dhruva's Maharaj's desires. It is way more than ours. If we think we are lusty, talk about Ajamil. If we have any problems that we think that it is impossible, there are examples of those personalities who have made it across. And Bhagavatam gives us those stories, those pastimes, and that confidence that it is possible. And especially by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can surely take shelter of and make our life perfect. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Yes. Yes. Prabhuji wanted me to glorify Badrinarayan Maharaj, who was a stalwart devotee, the first temple president in Michigan Yatra back in 1975. He was the first temple president of Ann Arbor, of our movement in Michigan. Very wonderful, very charismatic, very humble, very sweet, very dashing personality. Badrinarayan Maharaj, he left his body and departed. And there's a small video clip just from a month ago where he's saying that I am so happy, I am so fulfilled, I have given my life to Prabhupada. I have spent the last 50, 60, 70 years. I have nothing to fear. Just like Srivas Thakur, right? When the atheists of Navadvip would tell the devotees that we are going to take you to the Nawab, we are going to hand you over to the kings, we are going to tie you up, Srivas, you are wasting your time and our peace of mind in chanting Hare Krishna instead of studying the Vedanta. We'll tie you up, we'll put you in the Ganges, we'll tear down your doors, your houses, and we'll destroy you. Srivas, when he surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, I have nothing to fear when I have the holy names on my tongue and I have you, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in front of me. Even if death personified comes in front of me, I have nothing to fear. I will chant the holy names of the Lord and I will be making my way back home, back to God and into the embrace of the Lord. I have nothing to fear. In that same mood, Badrinarayan Maharaj also mentioned that I am completely fulfilled, self-satisfied, and I am ready to leave my body in Vrindavan. No, it is the youth, it's all of you on whose shoulders this responsibility of taking forth this movement is. So I am rest assured that it's in good hands, and please take this forward, this baton of Krishna consciousness. And in that mood, he left his body about 2 days ago, and there's a celebration all over the world. 2013, I had an opportunity to spend some time with Maharaj intimately. Since the other temple presidents in Detroit temple I was living in, they were engaged, they sent me to a temple president's meeting in Houston. And one of the tasks that Jagadguru Prabhu gave me was to interview Badrinarayan Maharaj and get all the pastimes of Prabhupada that Prabhupada had in Michigan. And I interviewed him for about 2 hours. And he gave such nectarian pastimes. How the devotees here in Michigan were so dedicated to spreading the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One of the very short stories I will end with. He said that the devotees had a map. They didn't have GPS or cell phones, of course. And they would do Harinam Sankirtan in every street of Detroit, entire Detroit metro area. And once they would do Harinam in one street, they would mark it off and they would go to the next street. In that way, they had covered the entire Metro Detroit. And if you know Metro Detroit, it's pretty vast, it's huge. The devotees have chanted Hare Krishna in every street. It's true. under his leadership. And the devotees, the police, the public, the devotees, everybody loved the devotees so much. And if you see what is happening around the world today, all the riots happening in the other countries next to our country, many places, the situation was like that in Detroit 50 years ago with all the riots. And the devotees would give prasadam which is palatable for the Detroiters, which is popcorn prasadam. They would offer popcorn to Radha Kunj Vihari and they would distribute popcorn prasadam. And one day, as the devotees are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, there were protesters who came from one corner and they were protesting against the police. And the police, with their shields and their batons and their masks, they were here opposing the revolters, right here in Detroit. And the devotees were in the middle chanting Hare Krishna, being sandwiched between these two groups as they were coming close and close and close. And the devotees didn't know what to do. And it is like proper riot. It's not just a story, it is true. And as the devotees were so confused, just before the two parties clashed with each other, the public said, hey, these are the popcorn people. And immediately they made way for the devotees. The devotees went right through and the public clashed against the police. So the people here were so welcoming the devotees, and the devotees were just in the mood of giving Krishna. They would perform Sankirtan 14 hours a day, every single day. And we're not talking about Indians from Indian origin who know Krishna, who have heard of the Bhagavad Gita, who are pious. No, we're talking about people, 300 devotees from 40 different countries of the world were living here in Michigan, in Detroit. This was how the Hare Krishna explosion started. What Prabhupada's mood was, what Prabhupada came to give was unparalleled. And what they have done is the glory on which we are enjoying what we have today here. So many wonderful pastimes of Prabhupada. Maharaj mentioned that when Prabhupada was going on a morning walk in Belle Isle, and if you know Belle Isle, it was more forested back then. As Prabhupada would walk, speaking Krishna Katha, the deer, we're talking about the deer here, the Dhanyosmi, Mudagatayor Harinyo, how the deer would come and hear Krishna's flute, and the male and the female deer would come together and they would embrace Krishna within the core of their hearts with their affectionate glance. It's described in Venu Gita. And Venu Gita would be one of the chapters that Mahaprabhu in Gambhira would just relish with so much of bliss. Similarly, when Prabhupada would be walking with the devotees, as we can see some pictures of Prabhupada on his morning walk, a herd of deer would come right next to Prabhupada. And devotees are witnessing this. As the devotees are walking, this deer, a group of deer are also walking with Prabhupada. And devotees would ask questions, Prabhupada would pause, he would stop and he would look at the devotees, he would answer. And all of these recordings of Prabhupada are even today present. And the devotees would stop and hear Prabhupada and record on their little recorders, dictaphones and recorders. And the herd of deer also would stop and also look at Prabhupada. Then when Prabhupada would start walking, these deer would again continue to walk along with Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada finished the whole circle and Prabhupada would do morning walks every day. Right, as Prabhupada would finish his walk, then the deer would run right into the forest. And the devotees would come walking back. Back then the temple was right across Belle Isle, the place where Prabhupada met Alfred Ford, Ambrish Prabhu. There's so many pictures of that there. Innumerable stories of Srila Prabhupada here. Every person Prabhupada would see, Prabhupada would just change their hearts. We were just discussing. In Melbourne, Prabhupada stopped. He was in a car with a devotee. He stopped at a red light. And there was one Australian father who was walking with a little 5-6-year-old girl, daughter. And the girl's eyes, the 6-year-old girl's eyes, locked in with Prabhupada's eyes. And Prabhupada smiled. And she smiled back. And Prabhupada went for the program, whatever. Lo and beyond, in the next 10-15 years, this girl has met the devotees, become a devotee, and she has joined the movement. This is Prabhupada. The first person that Prabhupada saw in Boston Harbor, he becomes a devotee. Every glance of Prabhupada was filled with pure love for Krishna. In Detroit, airport, as the devotees, we were just discussing this the other day, that as the devotees were welcoming Prabhupada, it is described, and I heard this from devotees who personally witnessed this. They would say that when Prabhupada was present there were personalities of this world who are going for their business meetings, wearing a suit and a tie and a briefcase, going from one terminal to another terminal. When they would see Prabhupada, they would not know what happened or what's happening. They would just start crying. Tears of love would just flow from their eyes. And there would be about 50-60 devotees who have come to welcome Prabhupada to come to a Detroit temple. But these people who have never seen Prabhupada, when they would see Prabhupada, they would start crying. Their hearts would feel so much blissful. They would know that this person has something I'm looking for. Not in one lifetime, for billions of lifetimes. And that this person has. And whatever he has, I want. And then they would be ready to give anything to Prabhupada. This was his mood. This was Prabhupada, who was a Goloka man, who came on the desire and instruction of Krishna. Although very unwilling, Krishna forced him to come here. As Mahaprabhu said, Moi Senapati Bhakta, he is my commander-in-chief. Even though those Indians who may want to run away from Bharatvarsha to the Western world, you, my Senapati Bhakta, will go to the Western world and establish Krishna consciousness and attract the mind of those Bharatvarshis, those people of Bharatvarsha, towards Krishna even in the Western world. And that is the contribution of Srila Prabhupada by the mercy of so many wonderful devotees like Badrinath Maharaj and others. So much can be spoken. Hours and days of Katha of Srila Prabhupada and of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. But in that mood, I remember 2018 was the last time I met Maharaj. We were waiting for a room in MBT in Vrindavan. My wife and I, we had our suitcases. We just went to India. And Maharaj was just walking in with one of his servants. He had taken sannyas then. When I interviewed him, he was not a sannyasi yet, but he had taken sannyas. And he asked, "Where are you from?" I said, "Michigan." And he went, "Oh, Michigan." Then he was very happy to meet the devotees, to meet my wife and I. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but it really touched our hearts so much. Like with so much of love, he gave his mercy to us. And everything that he would speak would just penetrate the devotees' hearts. And the examples of Prabhupada that he would give were so unparalleled. So I'm also looking forward to looking on ISKCON Desire Tree and listening to some of his classes. But this decade is a decade of sorrow, right? Those devotees who have personally served Prabhupada, who have personally witnessed the bliss of Krishna consciousness, of this Hare Krishna explosion that has actually come to take effect by Prabhupada's mercy, all these devotees are departing from this world. Many of them were born in the time of 1950. Right now they are 75, 80, in that range. So in the next 10 years, we will not have that association. So it's a personal desire that I have and we should all have, that whenever, wherever, however we get their association, we should avail of it. We should take the most and make the most of it and get some instruction. And instruction need not be that personal instruction. Whatever they even speak, right? Along with what they speak, they empower us to follow that with the wrapper of their instructions. So we should try to hear from them. We should try to serve them in any way we can. And especially I know Sadhu Sangha festival is coming up where we can get to meet many of Prabhupada disciples. And my wife and I were talking, maybe in the next 10-15 years, all the Sadhu Sangha will always be wonderful, but it is more special now because we have the association of hearing from these great souls that we will not have, our children will not have the association growing up. So whatever we can get, maybe one instruction and write it down in a book, right? And at the end, we will at least have those instructions. If you meet somebody, ask them for one personal instruction, write it in a notebook. Ask your personal instruction from them, right? And just by following one instruction, by one devotee, right? We can actually make so much more advancement. So we have this very wonderful opportunity that we should avail of. Otherwise, every other week or month or year, we will be seeing this. So how can we follow in their footsteps and inculcate their mood? It's what really pleases the Lord. Jai His Holiness Badrinath Maharaj ki Jai. Krishna Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Pran Prabhuji ki
Jai.
So let us thank
lot of gratitude to Advaita Guru for wonderfully enlightening all of us by loudly chanting 3 times Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Lord Purnima is coming on Tuesday. We have a special service right after Sunday feast. We will be doing Mahakriya. Devotees can gather together here and we can divide in different teams. There will be devotees already cleaning upstairs after Prasada, but thorough cleaning as much as possible. If you everyone pitches in 15-20 minutes, we'll be able to achieve a lot. So we would request you to please stay back and give some time for Mahakriya. Also, we have Chaitanya Charitamrita available for a discounted price of $125. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is auspicious to take it on appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Purnima. So